Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Very good evening. You guys are ready?
1 minute, Chetan.
Yes, sir, I am here, sir.
Chetan, presenter.
I'll call him. I'll call him. He's joining, sir. 2 minutes.
No problem.
Hello, good evening, sir. Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I'm Dr. Vivek from Kolkata, sir.
Okay. Are you present?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready now?
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
Your name is Vivek.
Vivek. Yes, sir.
We'll start now, guys. No?
Yes, sir.
Let's start.
Sir, a 32-year-old female, Mrs. Rita Roy, who is a resident of rural West Bengal in Malda. She is educated since till class 10 and she belongs to a low socioeconomic status. She is married for 12 years. She presented with the chief complaints of breathlessness since past 6 years, chest pain since past 2 years, and syncopal episodes since past 6 months. The patient was apparently asymptomatic till about 6 years when she first noticed shortness of breath that was initially on exertion. It was of insidious onset and it was gradually progressive. It was initially brought on by walking about distance of 1.5 to 2 kilometers, and it was relieved by rest, and it has now worsened over the past 1 year, and so much so that now it is apparent on even doing household activities such as washing clothes, moving around a full bucket of water, and the earthen pot in the house. And however, the breathlessness has not occurred on rest. There
What
is
can be
history.
the functional class?
Sir?
What
Sir,
was the
functional
function?
class? Yes, sir. So, at the time of onset, it was around, sir, it was NYHA class 2. Now it has progressed to NYHA class 3, sir.
What do you say? It is symptomatic and ordinary activity, no?
No, sir.
You are telling that his bucket of glass, bucket of bucket of water, not able to carry, and she is able to move, but with difficulties. But what is function class 2? Tell me. Hello. Hi. Vivek. Hello.
Sir, I think he disconnected, sir. We'll call him again, sir.
Hello?
Yeah, tell me what is
Hello?
functional class?
Yes.
What
sir.
is functional class 2?
Yes, sir. So, NYHA functional class 2 is when the patient is having a cardiac disease with slight limitation of physical activities, but otherwise they are comfortable at rest. And the symptoms that can result is dyspnea, palpitation, fatigue, and chest pain, sir.
With ordinary activities?
Yes, sir.
No, ordinary. What is her ordinary activities?
Sir,
ordinary
yes,
what is her
sir,
ordinary activities?
Sir, household activities such as washing the dishes, washing clothes, and moving around, sir, the earthen pot, and that's it, sir.
Yeah, then as you presented, so I think she's a functional class 2 only, not class 3.
Yes, so actually there's further history of PND, so I wanted to complete that and then include NYHA3, sir.
No, PND is nothing to do with 2 or 3 like this. PND, people say PND, no, PND is not related to any class 2, functional class 2 patient can have PND also. What is PND?
So PND is a paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea. So it is described as of feeling, so after sleeping, the patient gets up after a period of 2 to 3 hours and wakes up with sudden gasping of breath, so much so that there's feeling of choking sensation and the patient has to go to a window to catch the breath. So that is the description of PND.
Yeah, so PND has nothing to do with functional class. PND can have any class 2 patient, class 3 patient can have PND also. And you told that the patient is she's not able to perform her ordinary activities. So what I mean to say is symptomatic with ordinary activities or less than ordinary activities?
Sir, less than ordinary activities, sir.
Okay. So that means she's functional class 3 now?
Yes, sir, functional class 3.
Since how many days?
Since the past 1 year.
So is she static, functional class 3 static for last 1 year?
Yes, sir. Functional class 3 since past 1.
So there is no, see, you telling class 2, class 3, I'm telling class 2. So what is what is limitation of this NYHA functional class?
Sir, NYHA functional class has a main limitation that it is a subjective description, and the explanation and the interpretation can both be ambiguous, and there may be overlapping of the classes according to different interpretations.
So this is a gross limitation of this. This is the limitation of NYHA functional class. So why are you using then?
Yes, sir.
Why are you using? Why do you use this functional class in your practice?
Sir, it is easy to use, and second thing is, sir, by the patient's words and all, so we can interpret it easily.
No, yeah. What are they tell me how to assess the functional capacity of the patient in the heart failure patient? What are the modalities or what are the what to say? What is the objective way of
So-
assessing the function?
So,
Yeah,
sir,
tell me.
another scale that can be used to gauge the person's functional capacity. So can it be with a specific activity scale, wherein
Okay.
sir, metabolic equivalents can be used because certain metabolic equivalents have been described. So based on that, we can objectively quantify.
Okay, I'm not asking the functional class, I'm functional capacity. One is okay, fine, metabolism scale. So Goldman's metabolism activity, fine. Then other anything how to assess the functional capacity of the patient in heart failure patient or in cardiovascular disorder?
Sir, 6-minute walking test. Sir.
Yeah, 6-minute walk test, so fine. Okay, and then what else?
Sir, little advanced in cases of chronic heart failure or the patients who are planned to undergo maybe cardiac transplant. Sir, in those patients, sir, VO2 quantification.
By?
Exercise.
Sir, exercise cycle.
Cardiopulmonary test.
CPT.
Yes,
CPT. Cardiopulmonary
yes,
test.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so go ahead then. Okay, fine. So, so it's a functional class 3 for last 1 year, but
1 year.
total from 6 years. So she was
Yes,
she remained up to 5 years in functional class 2, then entered into class 3 for last 1 year.
Yes, sir. Since last
Okay.
1 year. Sir. So moving ahead, said there is a history of paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea seen since the past 6 months, and there is no history of any orthopnea, no history of any cough or pedal edema. About 1 year back, she was, after having repeated episodes of paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea, she was admitted in a hospital where she was evaluated. So I'll come to that later. So I'll finish my history of presenting in this first. So the next complaint that she noticed that she started having chest pain. Chest pain she has noticed since past 1 year, which was also of insidious onset and progression, gradually progression, described as retrosternal heaviness, which was brought about by exertion. On asking what type of exertion, she said that in a couple of instances when she had to run off to catch at that time, she felt, and on that time, so the chest pain was there, and it usually relieves on rest and so that is for the chest pain.
So it is angina or non-angina chest pain?
So it's an angina.
Angina.
So it's an anginal chest pain.
Okay, so 32-year girl lady has come with angina, typical angina. Okay, fine. So what the functional class of angina here?
Yes, sir.
You could think separately.
Sir, functional class, sir, here, sir, it is also class 3, sir, because in the examples that she had given, so once within the house, also after climbing one flight of stairs, she had chest pain couple of times.
What is crescendo angina?
Sorry, sir.
What is crescendo angina? How to define crescendo angina?
So crescendo angina, yes, sir. Sir, when there is increasing angina present on the same exertion level.
No. Why is so important? Why this important crescendo angina? Why this terminology? Why there? What is the importance, clinical importance of crescendo angina?
Sir, for to see, sir, any unstable angina?
Unstable angina. What do you mean unstable angina? How to define unstable angina?
Sir, unstable angina is defined as angina that is present for more than 20 minutes, and on evaluation, so there is no ECG changes or any rise in the troponin levels.
No. Right, people will go to no. Yes, will go non-escalation in my clinical action. What is unstable? How to define unstable angina? How to classify unstable angina? What classification you use for unstable angina?
Sir, Canadian classification.
Unstable angina, the classification is very much known. Brownell classification, no. Brownell classification unstable angina. No, the Brownell classification unstable angina, no or not? Hello, Saurabh.
Sir, definition.
Brownell classification of unstable angina, you know or not? Read it.
Sir,
Read this.
okay.
Unstable angina definition, classification, Brownell classification unstable angina. So where Keystone angina is one part of the one group of that is unstable angina. Okay, she had angina pectoris function class 3 from to start with or it become class 2 become class 3 now? Started
No,
class
sir.
3 or?
This was sir. It has progressed from class 2 to class 3, sir, over past 1 year.
32-year lady, if it comes with a typical angina pectoris, what are the possibilities? A 32-year lady has for 2 years history of typical angina pectoris. What are the possible causes or possible etiological conditions you think of?
Sir, with this patient, sir, I'd like to think of left ventricular outflow tract obstruction as one of the main primary causes of chest pain. Apart from that, so there may be other causes also, such as sir, but with such a short history, I would not like to think of sir RBOTO, and sir maybe with associated.
I'm not asking about the, listen, I'm not asking about the duration. A particular lady has come to you and the parents are I've got typical angina pectoris. What are the possible things, possible clinical condition you think of? One is told LVOT obstruction. Okay, LVOT obstruction. The mild LVOT or significant or severe LVOT obstruction?
Sir, significant, sir.
Okay, severe LVOT obstruction.
Severe LVOT. So apart from that, sir, maybe pericarditis.
Is there any condition like acute LVOT obstruction there? Like acute air, can it be an acute LVOT obstruction possible? Which condition acute LVOT obstruction?
Sir, aortic dissection.
Aortic dissection, LVOT obstruction get it? Acute air will get no.
Sir, acute
LVOT obstruction.
No, sir, you cannot think of.
You can't think of. Okay, procedural malfunction.
Sorry, sir.
And fungal endocarditis, large vegetation can have acute LVOT obstruction.
Okay, sir. So then other causes like pericarditis.
I'm asking typical angina, not pericarditis, won't put typical angina. Typical patient, 32-year lady, young lady has come to you with the history suggested typical angina. What are the possibility to LVOT obstruction? Fine. Good. Then LVOT obstruction any kind. So LVOT obstruction, aortic stenosis, supra-aortic stenosis, subaortic, whatever maybe, or hypotic cardioma of the obstructive variety, even non-obstructive variety also, we can get angina. Then what else? 32-year lady coming with the
so Takotsubo
Takotsubo 33. Typical angina, yaar. Angina and Takotsubo cardioma the same. Takotsubo cardioma is acute condition, no. Angina pectoris. Angina means angina comes on exertion. Typically means what? An exertion and it disappears. Takotsubo cardioma come angina like this. It's acute condition, no.
No, sir. It's like a.
Okay, mitral prolapse may be fine. Mitral prolapse then. You to mention matter of collapse, of course.
Sir,
Okay.
then endocarditis, sir.
Endocarditis. That is very common in your place, outritis
Yes, sir.
or in vasculitis. Very common in on our side, no, eastern side. Bengal, mostly
sir.
Bengal, Odisha, very common. Then what else? You told about RBT obstruction also possible. RBT obstruction.
Sir, yes, RBOT also mentioned.
Anomalous coronary artery.
So then,
Typical angina function class 3. Then syncope.
yes, sir.
Coronary
So,
spasm.
syncope.
Coronary spasm.
So coronary spasm, sir, but it may not be a repeated symptom, sir.
No, typical angina may come with your usual waist angina. Macrovascular dysfunction can have also. Macrovascular dysfunction can have typical angina pectoris.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then it's all about shortness of breath and chest pain. Then what else?
So then syncope. Sir, she had about,
Syncope.
yes, sir.
Syncope.
Syncope.
How do you syncope? It is transient loss of consciousness. Syncope.
Yes, sir,
syncope.
it is defined as
Or
transient.
It is LOC or it is.
Sir, the classical definition of syncope is it is a transient loss of consciousness with loss of postural tone, and so usually the recovery is a swift one within a minute, and so there are no other associated features suggestive of any other causes such as seizures, or there is no history of associated aura or post-ictal confusion.
What is pseudosyncope? What is pseudosyncope?
Sir, graying out or disease spell, sir.
Graying out.
Yes,
What is
graying out?
Huh?
So graying out or disease spells, sir.
Really, what are the conditions you get pseudosyncope? What are the conditions patients have? We diagnose pseudosyncope, not it is true syncope, pseudosyncope.
Sir, conditions like non-cardiac conditions such as seizures, migraines, and sir, other metabolic causes. Sir, sometimes maybe sir, even carotid sinus hypersensitivity.
That is pseudosyncope.
No, sir.
You told carotid sinus pseudosyncope. You told. That is true syncope. What is that?
Yes,
As you mentioned, that what is that carotid sinus hypersensitivity? How to define that?
Sir, carotid sinus. Carotid sinus hypersensitivity is a condition wherein by certain so there's bradycardia and followed by syncope when there is a compression of the carotid in certain individuals. Usually, common history is given such as tight collars and certain neck when causing neck movements, they can cause syncope. Sir.
How many types of what is the type? How many types of carotid sinus hypersensitivity?
Sir, there are 3 types, sir. Cardio-inhibitory type, vasodepressor type, and a mixed type, sir.
Which most common?
Sir, cardio-inhibitory type, sir.
How to define cardio-inhibitory?
Sir, so we have to elicit by doing a head-up tilt test, wherein so the
cardio-inhibitory in case of carotid sinus.
Sir, when the ventricular rate so it falls below 40 beats per minute, and this lasts for more than 10 seconds, or in case so there is an asystole for more than 3 seconds.
System more 3 seconds. And how will assume 3 seconds?
Sorry, sir.
How to test for the carotid sans hypersensitivity test? Carotid type hypersensitivity. How to test?
Sir, we have to keep the patient in supine position. We have to explain the condition to the patient. So usually a heart rate monitor or a pulse oximeter can also be used. With that, sir, we have to ask the patient to slightly look on the other side, because whichever side we are performing, sir, we have to give a gentle pressure, and sir, with little circular motions to be about 10 seconds, and sir, we simultaneously see for the response, and sir, if there is no symptom, then we perform the same on the other after some time to see if there is any response.
Yeah, before that you have to auscultate carotid. You have to rule out Bruit. No, Bruit don't do that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, this is then vasodepressive. How do you diagnose?
Sir, in vasodepressor type, sir, there will be a fall of blood pressure, of systolic blood pressure of about 50 millimeters of mercury, but there will be no bradycardia.
Okay, so patient has got syncope 6 months ago, and he has got true syncope, no pseudo syncope, true syncope.
No, sir, no pseudo syncope.
What are the high risk category of syncope? What is the high risk category of syncope?
Sir, high risk category, sir, these are the patients with HOCM, sir, with patients having patients with a history of sudden cardiac death, family history of sudden cardiac death, and
that's all. High risk, no, you have to categorize, no, high risk, intermediate risk, and low risk, no.
Yes.
Then how to
Sir,
label it as high risk category of syncope?
Sir, we have to take history, and sir, based on
You have
that,
you have taken history to tell us, no? You have taken a history or taken all examination done. So these are the patients under high risk. High risk patients,
yes, sir.
Discharge.
Inherited diseases, sir, such as channelopathies, Brugada syndrome, and sir, long QT syndrome, short QT syndrome. So then arrhythmic right ventricular cardiomyopathies. These patients. Sir, with first degree family history of sudden cardiac death, or sir, proven first degree relatives of having a hypertrophic cardiomyopathy.
So from history you think of history, family history, and also structural disease. Look for echo, structural disease, family history.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What else? Any other things? This is all history and echo examination. Then any other?
Sir, maybe exercise testing can also help us.
How do you do ECG, no? ECG.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. ECG, sir.
Then important ECG. After that, exercise do or don't do, all different thing. So what are the ECG criteria of high risk category?
Sir, so long QT syndrome, sir.
Already told long QT, short QT done. Then what else? What is the definition of long QT?
Sir, long QT is defined as more than 500 millisecond. Sir, 440 and 460 for males and females, and for risk stratifications are more than 500 milliseconds.
What the ECG you get? Okay, ECG you get long QT, short QT, then what else?
Sir, if there is any other feature of sir, coronary artery diseases, if
We
not
will
for
you
this
how
patient,
how to get from ECG coronary artery disease? Yeah. You already seen by echocardiography, seen that there is dysfunction or scarring, that's fine.
yes, sir.
Okay, important thing,
Sir,
heart block, different heart block,
So
and there is
complete heart block, sir. Sir,
may
heart
not
block.
be heart block, Mobius type 2 heart block, what complete heart block, Mobius type 2, type 3 heart block, and internal contraction defect, abdominal block, bifacial block. Well, this thing epsilon wave.
Sir,
So go like this. You should be very. You should talk like a what? Like singing a song. You should not take time to do. You should not have pauses at all. So these are common things. No, easy to answer also. Okay, so you should know what is the high schedule syncope, and there is risk. There is some scoring also. Risk scoring for the syncope. No, what is this? Don't know. So then the history, syncope with the then histoparental lens, what going on now?
Yes, sir. Sir, so there is, so moving ahead, sir, shall I describe the syncopal episodes?
No, nothing here. Syncope is fine.
Yes, sir. Sir, the syncope was not preceded by any palpitations or any chest discomfort at that time. There is no history of any prolonged fever, no history of pedal edema. There is no history of any limb weakness or history suggestive of any transient ischemic attack. So, regarding history of palpitations, she was not very confident because on description she said that only when she's having breathlessness, that time she feels some form of palpitations, but rest palpitations she was not able to describe. And apart from that, after this, she had gone to a local physician about 6 months back who had referred her to a tertiary care center.
Who is concerned with rest palpation? You told that in which concern to get rest palpation?
Sir, I would like to rule out atrial fibrillation, sir. That's why I asked if there is any rest palpitation, sir.
Tell me what other concern to get rest palpation? Only atrial fibrillation only?
Volume overload conditions.
Then?
Sir, other arrhythmias, sir. Bradyarrhythmias also, and sir, tachyarrhythmias such as ventricular tachycardia or atrial flutter, sir, or atrial tachycardia.
What the definition of between atrial flutter and atrial flutter?
Sorry, sir.
How to differentiate atrial flutter from atrial tachycardia?
Sir, by history, sir, it's difficult, but with ECG, yes, sir.
History not possible, from history. Atrial tachycardia from history. Okay, there is no palpitation at rest, fine. So only existential palpitation. Yes. It was actual palpitation. You have to describe that. How it is? It's coming suddenly, going up suddenly, slow onset.
Sir, actually, sir, I tried to take out the patient, sir, but we're not able to get a clear history, sir. That's why I want to.
Then don't mention those things. No exam. If this palpitation is not contributing to your diagnosis, don't mention this. If palpitation is there or your diagnosis, then you mention it.
Okay, sir.
But palpitation as a part of the cardiovascular symptoms, you have to mention the no palpitation. If there is no palpitation, you have to mention no palpitation. If there is palpitation, you have to describe properly.
Okay, sir. Okay. So the palpitation, the palpitations described is of, sir, usually it is there on exertion. It lasts as long as the breathlessness is there, but once the breathlessness is settled, she feels that the palpitation is settled, usually of duration of the same duration as that of the breathlessness.
What do you mean? I don't understand. So breathlessness, palpitation, duration same.
Yes, sir.
Why should do that like this? How to explain this? How to correlate with this? Palpitation duration equal to your breathlessness duration.
Sir, basically, sir, she meant to say that there's an exertional palpitation.
And why you mentioning that palpitation and breathlessness duration? Don't mention those things. They're confusing term. So breath is having palpitation on exertion and it subsides on rest. Finish. It decreases and no, so finish job. No.
Okay, sir.
So the exam ask you this palpitation because what arrhythmia, non-arrhythmic. Because palpitation is very favorite question of the exam. Arrhythmia, non-arrhythmic, sir. It is probably sinus tachycardia. Sinus tachycardia it is.
So past history.
Yes.
Sir, patient has a history
What is
of
inapproved sinus tachycardia? What is inapproved sinus tachycardia? Inappropriate sinus tachycardia. How to define this and how to manage this? What a drug for that? Inappropriate sinus tachycardia. What is the definition of inappropriate sinus tachycardia?
Sir, it is defined as onset of tachycardia, which is not proportionate to the exertions.
That means not exertion means it less than or more than that.
Sir, more than, sir.
What is the mean heart rate or what is the rate? So you have to tell the definition there, no? You have to tell exact definition of inappropriate sinus tachycardia. Heart rate more than 90 or 120 or 100, something there, no?
Sir, I'm not sure, sir.
Read this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then next move on.
Yes, sir. Sir, 17 years ago, when she was 15 years of age, that time she has history of which is suggestive of acute rheumatic fever. At that time, she says that there was a history of fever with joint pain, and regarding the swelling, sir, there was swelling sometimes, and this was shown to a local physician at that point of time, who referred to Harris Center where she was admitted. And sir, after that, sir, she was given treatment.
Saurav, you know this is a case of rheumatic fever, no? There definitely history of rheumatic fever there. This is rheumatic fever or not? So you present like that. In that present, there sometimes swelling out like that. You are as if there is a lot of confusion there. He had migrated polyarthritis. There is tender swollen joints. Mention that they confidently. If you know that is a case of. Somebody is calling me, my student calling. Yes. Hello, Saurav. Saurav.
Yes, sir.
Yes, present that way. Present confidently that patient has got no. Sometimes swelling, not swelling. Don't mention that way, haphazard way. So here, if you are convinced that patient has got rheumatic fever in the past and you are receiving treatment for that, it is a follow disease. Present that sir, patient has decided has acute rheumatic fever. Finish. And he has got migrated polyarthritis, swollen and tender. Finish. Sometimes swollen, sometimes not swollen. Don't mention those things.
Yes.
Okay, he had rheumatic fever in the past. Then
yes,
he had.
So she was admitted, hospitalized, and treated for a period of 7 to 10 days, and then she was discharged with some oral medication, and she was then asked to take injections, intramuscular injections every 3 weekly, which she had taken for about a period of.
No need to detail so much. He had acute rheumatic fever. Acute rheumatic fever, hospitalized and advised and diagnosed and advised and this and advised rheumatic prophylaxis And she is taking or not taking, I have to mention that, or he discontinued. Only 2 sentences, not
Yes,
very
sir.
detailed.
So she took for
Okay.
a period of 6 years. After that, she discontinued. So
Okay.
then obstetric history. So when she was 22 years of age, she had one full-term normal vaginal delivery without any symptom of any breathlessness or any difficulty during her pregnancy, and she delivered a normal, healthy baby boy. After that, so the personal history, so there it's unremarked, and some medication history. So since past 6 months, when she had visited a physician, so she has been started on some medications of diuretics and blood thinners, and so also she has been restarted on the penicillin prophylaxis.
Penicillin for what? Penicillin for rheumatic fever. Penicillin
Yes.
prophylaxis for rheumatic fever. Mention that.
For rheumatic fever. Yes.
That's all.
Yes, sir.
Any other treatment? Any intervention done? Any treatment? Any other intervention? Surgery? Nothing done.
No, sir, not during this period.
So during delivery, any detection of heart disease? No, it is uneventful. The pregnancy and delivery
Yes, sir.
uneventful.
Sir, it was uneventful, and sir, I asked whether she had shown to any cardiologist or any physician per se regarding the heart problem since she
What is
had
the
been
last
childhood.
child?
So
What last child
sorry,
birth?
sir?
How many? Child birth? How
Sir,
many years ago?
So only one child, so the baby is 10 years old now.
10 years old. So 4 years after delivery, she developed symptoms. Fine.
Yes.
So from history, what is diagnosis?
So may I summarize?
No need. That's fine. Yes, 6 years
Okay, sir.
breathlessness, 2 years chest pain, syncope, one episode. That's all. Yes, acute rheumatic fever, childhood.
Yes, sir.
Is there any recurrence?
Sir,
Any recurrence? of rheumatic fever? Any recurrence?
No, sir. So there is no history of any recurrent episode.
No recurrence.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir, differential diagnosis after history, sir, I'd like to keep number one, rheumatic heart disease with mitral stenosis and pulmonary venous hypertension. So also I'd like to keep differential of left ventricular outflow tract obstruction.
No.
Up.
Saurabh, I couldn't hear you because I was attending the call. Tell me from history,
Yes,
what is diagnosis?
Sir, I'll repeat. Sir, case of rheumatic heart disease, predominantly, sir, with mitral stenosis and so pulmonary venous hypertension and pulmonary arterial hypertension. Sir, second diagnosis I would also like to keep as left ventricular outflow tract obstruction.
That is not a diagnosis. No, left ventricular outflow obstruction is not a diagnosis. See, left ventricular from a coarctation out, supraorbital aortic stenosis, aortic stenosis, subaortic stenosis.
Sorry,
So
sir.
many.
Sir, I'll say yes, sir. Sir, aortic stenosis, sir.
Lone diagnosis. Lone aortic stenosis. Rheumatic aortic stenosis.
Yes, sir. Rheumatic.
Lone aortic is 6 years history of breathlessness, functional class 2, class 3, and can it be aortic stenosis for last 6 years? Yeah.
No, sir.
Has
it will not be. Sir, it will not be aortic stenosis alone, sir. Sir, either mitral stenosis alone or with mitral stenosis and aortic stenosis.
Okay. So mitral stenosis, aortic stenosis.
Yes, sir.
And chest pain, lone mitral stenosis. What is the cause of chest pain? Typical angina, chest pain.
Sir, chest pain in mitral stenosis is usually a late complication, which is seen with right ventricular hypertrophy, and sir, also other causes such as certain elderly, maybe coronary atherosclerosis, coronary embolism, and other causes maybe pulmonary embolism contributing.
Chest pain for typical angina, pulmonary embolism.
No, sir.
Typical angina for last 2 years.
Sir, right ventricular hypertrophy secondary to the pulmonary vascular disease.
Right ventricular hypertrophy with angina pectoris. Right ventricular ischemia, you mean?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Right ventricular ischemia can typical angina pectoris last 2 years now become functional class 3. Why is develop functional class 3 now? Class 2, class 3 because RV is progressing day by day.
Sir, so there may be other causes that has aggravated the disease. So one is atrial fibrillation. Sir,
Angina, my
not
angina pectoris. Angina pectoris. Oh, yes, angina pectoris can produce chest pain, I know. But
Yes,
that has been described mostly on non-valvular arterial fibrillation. So mitral stenosis, typical angina, initially functional class 2, now for last 6 months, 1 year functional class 3. Typical angina, mitral stenosis. Okay, mitral stenosis, aortic is aortic stenosis, you mean?
yes, sir.
Yes. So mitral stenosis and aortic stenosis.
Yes, sir.
Fine. You told in between there upon existential palpitation with what?
Sir,
Existential palpitation also you mentioned no? Sometimes back. So
sorry, sir.
existential palpitation you mentioned no? What is the cause? In EMA says what is the cause of existential palpitation?
Hello.
Okay. Yes, I'm
Sir,
here.
I was
No.
disconnected, sir. Sorry, sir. I was disconnected, sir. I can't.
Okay, fine. Okay. It's happening because of probably this this network maybe. So
Yes, sir.
you also have coronary disease, mitral stenosis. So you think of mitral stenosis because long-standing symptoms, 6 year symptoms. I had PND, so you thought of mitral stenosis, correct? And along with that, because of typical angina pectoris and you had one episode syncope, you thought aortic stenosis also there.
Yes, sir.
Why no? Other day I'm asking, no. Patient has listen. One group patient mitral stenosis, one group patient aortic stenosis. Aortic stenosis patient
Yes,
develops syncope, same cardiac output, same stroke volume. Two groups of patients, but aortic stenosis patient have syncope, but MS patients they usually don't develop syncope. Why? You understand the question? Understood? Saurabh?
Yes, sir. So the question is, sir, why with the similar kind of cardiac output, the syncope in aortic stenosis is more common when compared to mitral stenosis?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So the common causes of syncope in aortic stenosis, one, it is systemic vasodilatation with the background of a fixed outflow obstruction. Apart from that, so there are two other mechanisms of baroreceptor malfunction and mechanoreceptor malfunction. So, for example, when there is an exertion, so the LV mechanoreceptor is activated. So it gives a negative feedback for the sympathetic tone, and therefore the parasympathetic tone is activated. So this will decrease the peripheral vascular resistance and thereby decrease the cardiac output. And so apart from that, so if we consider other associated causes which are relatively less common, such as atrial fibrillation or any so ventricular tachycardia may be associated with AS, then in those cases also they contribute towards the syncope.
Yeah, mitral stenosis also atrial fibrillation there, no? Mitral stenosis atrial fibrillation more common in mitral stenosis than aortic stenosis. So why they were? So when you told that the patient has got intraventral pressure raised because aortic stenosis increase intraventral pressure, so can cause the reflex vasodilatation. No,
Right,
you mean yeah. So which doesn't happen in case of mitral stenosis. Mitral stenosis there no ventricular pressure doesn't increase.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Which is mitral stenosis versus mitral atrial fibrillation and aortic stenosis atrial fibrillation? Which is more dangerous? my dear?
Sir, yes, sir, with aortic stenosis, sir.
Yeah, mitral stenosis patient develop pulmonary edema, no? Pulmonary edema develop breathless. But aortic stenosis patient develop syncope, low output state.
Yes, sir. Sir, with aortic
Or-
stenosis.
Coronary perfusion hampers. So aortic stenosis patient will have. So pulmonary edema we can de-lysis, we can decongest, but aortic stenosis is low output state. So it is more dangerous in aortic stenosis with atrial fibrillation than mitral stenosis.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so from history, you thought of mitral stenosis with aortic stenosis probably because of he has got syncope and angina pectoris.
Yes, sir. Sir, with long-standing history of dyspnea.
Examination or good?
Yes, sir.
Examination.
Sir,
Examination.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So patient is conscious, alert, and oriented. So with a BMI of 18 kg per meter square, so there is a pulse rate of 92 beats per minute.
Hello. Gone. Hello.
No radial or hello. Yes, sir.
92 per minute. I'm not able to hear. 92 per minute, and it is regular, normal volume.
Irregularly, sir. Irregular, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So the apex pulse deficit is 12 beats per minute, and sir, it's of a low volume, no radial or radiofemoral. All other peripheral pulses are felt. So, so there's a carotid thrill present. So blood pressure is so it's 104 by 70 millimeters of mercury.
70.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
104 by 70. So in the right arm supine position, and so in the lower limb blood pressure was 110 millimeters of mercury. So the respiratory rate is 18 per minute, and coming to so there's no history of so there's no pallor edema or any cyanosis noted.
No pallor.
JVP.
So JP.
So JVP actually A wave is absent. So it is seen about 2 centimeters above the sternal angle, and the V wave is prominent, sir, but so it is not large, and so there is normal respiratory variation, and so hepatojugular reflex so does not so it's negative. So moving ahead to the cardiovascular systemic examination, inspection and palpation. So the chest is bilaterally symmetrical. So the trachea is central. There is no precordial bulge or scars. So the apex is localized in the fifth intercostal space in the mid-clavicular line. It is of heaving character, left ventricular type. So the parasternal lift of 2/3 grade is present. So palpable second heart sound is palpable second heart sound in the left second intercostal space, and so bilateral carotid thrills are present. So there is no apicocarotid delay. So percussion, so it is unremarkable. So the right border is
no thrill in the
precordium. Sir, there is no, sir, not at the precordium, sir. But bilateral carotid thrill is present. So then percussion, so it is unremarkable. So the right border is retrosternal. The left second intercostal space is resonant. On auscultation, so may I move to auscultation, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So on auscultation, so S1 is of variable intensity, but it is predominantly loud. So the S2, it is narrowly split with a loud P2 component, although A2 component is heard, but it is very soft. And opening snap is heard. It is present in the sorry, it is present with a high pitched, and it is heard at the apex and the A2 OS interval. Sir, it's wide, sir. No additional S3 or S4 is heard. Mid diastolic murmur is heard at the apex, which is of low pitch, rough rumbling type, best heard with the bell of a stethoscope in the left lateral position, and so there is no presystolic accentuation. So the murmur increases with certain exercise such as sitting up and lying down repeated times, and on noticing between the increase after the long cycles of RR intervals, so it is better heard. Sir, there is a pansystolic murmur also heard at the apex, which is of grade 2/6. It is high pitched, blowing type, best heard in the left lateral position. It is radiating to the axilla and better heard at the end of the expiration. So an ejection systolic murmur, grade 3/6, is heard in the right second intercostal space, which is of mixed frequency. It is of harsh and rasping quality, crescendo or decrescendo with late peaking, ending just at second heart sound, and it is conducted to both the carotids, and it is longer in the long cycles RR, and it decreases with hand grip. Sir, hello.
I'm hearing.
Yes, sir. So the other systemic examinations, sir, I've seen, sir, it's unremarkable.
That, can you clarify that MDM in the apex one more time?
Yes, sir. Sir, MDM is heard at the apex. It is low pitched, rough rumbling murmur, which is best heard in the left lateral position with the bell of a stethoscope without any presystolic accentuation. The murmur increases with exercise, and it is better heard when after because of so long cycle of so long RR cycle.
I don't know what better heard. What better heard after long RR cycle? That I don't understand. This is. Why should better heard in long RR cycle?
Sir,
how to decide severity of MS in atrial fibrillation?
Sir, severity of MS, sir, after a long cycle, sir, it is better heard. So then it is severe.
After long cycle? What after long cycle? After long cycle, what do I don't know? After long cycle or in a long cycle? Long cycle means long RR interval.
Yes, sir, long RR interval.
Long RR interval. What happens to that murmur? Severe MS.
Sir, after with long RR, sir, the presystolic accentuation is normally absent, but sir, in this case, sir, there is no presystolic accentuation, sir.
Oh, tell me the any severe MS, the murmur duration. What happened? Murmur duration in the long RR interval cycle. It is short, or is it long?
Sir, it decreases, sir.
What decrease? What decrease?
Sir,
Long RR interval, if murmur is very long, R2R, it's severe MS.
sir, I'm unable to comprehend, sir. Sorry.
In the long RR interval, if murmur is long, then it's severe MS, no? If it's short interval, short interval, your LA pressure rise anyway. Heart rate increases. Short RR interval means heart rate more. Short RR interval, LA pressure rise, you may get full RR interval murmur there. But if long RR interval murmur is very long,
Right, sir.
so then your mitral stenosis is very severe. You should not say. You have to say in long RR interval murmur very long.
Okay, sir.
Understand?
Yes.
So most of diastole murmur, no. Most of
Yes.
diastole murmur, they replace the cigarette lesion depending upon the duration. Understand? AR murmur duration, unless it's acute AR or severe AR with the dysfunction. Chronic severe AR, the duration murmur decided intensity of AR. Similarly, mitral stenosis, diastole murmur, the duration of murmur decides the severity of MS. Duration of murmur reflects the duration of the gradient between two chambers. So mathematics what happen will get a small murmur, MDM, then gap will get its pressure appreciation because on LA on insensitive. During the latter part of this actually age lateral pressure is more than maintenance of its appreciation. So that means when the severe MS, the whole diastole, from diastole to presystole gradient exists. So gradient so that will get a long murmur with the presystole. Similarly, in case of articulation, how to decide? If a longer interval, the murmur remain throughout hour to hour interval, mid-diastole to the end of the systole.
Yes, sir.
So that's it. Patient has got severe MS.
Okay, sir.
You understand the point?
Yes, sir.
So they will ask these questions. That means you are, if you are not properly understood, they will ask you exam the diagram LA pressure and which pressure and LV. And so what happens? The gradient and duration of murmur. You have to graphically you have to show to examiner. So let's practice it. So LA and LV or wedge and LV pressure tracing in mitral stenosis, wedge and LA pressure tracing MR. Out and LV in air is last.
Yes, sir.
You read that. You try to practice it. All of you practice it with the book and the diagram. Understand, and so that you will to and explain also. Try to how to explain properly. Practice it.
Right.
Okay. So what is diagnosis now?
So diagnosis rheumatic heart disease with severe mitral stenosis, severe aortic stenosis, mild mitral regurgitation, some moderate pulmonary venous hypertension, moderate pulmonary arterial hypertension, so atrial fibrillation with controlled ventricular rate, so in NYHA class 3, and no evidence of any infective endocarditis or embolic phenomenon or heart failure at present.
No activity also.
No rheumatic activity.
No heart failure. No. How come there no heart failure? Why do you say no heart failure?
Sir, so there's no, so the JVP is not raised. So there is no PT.
No. Vitality.
Yes, sir.
Why they function class 3? Because what? Why they function class? Just listen. Forget
Sir,
that.
patient is
Sometimes you will tell no patient is in severe heart failure. Severe heart failure means what do you think? Patient is severe heart failure. A patient advanced heart failure means what do you think? Patient in advanced heart failure. Diabetic cardiomyopathy, patient advanced heart failure, severe heart failure.
yes, sir.
Also,
Sir, patient having symptoms at rest.
that will function class 3, class 4. Is class 3, class 4. No, severe heart failure or advanced heart failure is functioning class 3, class 4. No, I'm correct or not correct? Yeah. So patient in advanced heart failure, severe heart failure functioning class 3, class 4, probably class 4 or ambulatory class 4, whatever may.
Yes, sir.
So patient now functioning class 3 now. Class 3 because of the what? Because no heart failure now or why they class 3?
So there's a marked limitation of activities, sir, based on that.
That means it's a patient heart failure or not heart failure? My question is patient heart failure or no heart failure?
Sir, the symptoms are exertional, sir.
You tell me, I don't understand, yes or no? Just somebody is calling me. Yes.
So,
Functional class 3 now.
no, sir.
So-
At present, no heart failure.
Huh?
No, sir.
What no, sir? At
Sir,
present what?
No heart failure, sir.
No heart failure. How come there no heart failure? Why they function class 3 on what basis? Why they function class 3?
Sir, severe, pulmonary venous hypertension, so that is causing the symptoms.
Okay. So why there is you are telling severe aortic stenosis? Sorry,
Yes,
severe
sir.
mitral stenosis. Okay, I'll come back to us. Severe mitral stenosis. Now, why there is
Right, sir.
A2 opening snap is wide here?
Sir, A2 opening snap, sir, it can be widened because there is an associated aortic valve pathology because of that. And sir, there are, in this case,
Opening snap is mitral valve, no? Aortic valve pathology, how can it aortic valve pathology, opening snap, no relation, no? It is a mitral valve pathology causes opening snap.
sir, if there is sir, left ventricular hypertrophy, so there may be increase, sir, IVR, sir, interventricular relaxation time. So because of the
Okay, fine. There is interventricular relaxation time is prolonged. So what happened to left ventricular diastolic pressure?
Sir, it will increase, sir.
Okay. So what is the definition of heart failure?
Sir?
How to define heart failure?
Sir, heart failure is defined as sir, either left ventricular failure or right ventricular failure. So
Doesn't matter.
Failure.
In broad sense, heart failure. What is the define heart failure?
Sir, heart failure, say, in broad sense, sir, maybe a systolic or a diastolic heart failure. Systolic heart failure, where there is decreased forward flow of the blood.
My dear, I'm asking heart failure definition. I'm not asking systolic heart failure definition. In heart failure, what is the heart failure definition? This tell me. American College of Cardiology or British Society of Cardiology, what is the definition of heart failure? I'm not asking the diastolic heart failure or systolic heart failure here. I'm not asking heart failure because valvular disease, myocardial disease, or coronary disease. Tell me how broadly how to define heart failure.
Sir, heart failure, sir, by definition, it can be because of a structural or functional cardiac disease that impairs the ability of the ventricle to either receive or eject the blood into the systemic column.
So defect in ejection or defect in filling?
Sir, ejection, ejection and filling also. Sir.
So here left ventricular filling is raised. You told after LV there aortic stenosis and A2 opening snap is wide. Because of left ventricular diastolic pressure, yes, so if you diastolic raise, LV dysfunction there.
Okay, sir.
Any failure, the LV dysfunction there. Doesn't matter that every time the patient should have systolic dysfunction. So patient, you just don't mention that patient not heart patient functioning class 3. Nobody asking heart failure, not heart failure. You won't give diuretics here? Tell me, the patient has come to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Patient is receiving diuretics.
Why do diuretics? Because patient is congested.
Yes, sir.
Patient is patient congested diuretic to decongest.
Yes, sir.
Heart failure is what? How the heart failure? Breathlessness and fatigability, two cardinal symptoms of heart failure. Breathlessness because of congestion. Understand?
Yes, sir.
So patient heart failure. Don't mention patient heart failure. As because we have been taught in third MBBS 4 cardinal signs of heart failure, in JP, tender hepatomegaly, bypass like Krebs, pedal edema. That's no longer not required.
Okay.
That not required. 4 things not required for to say patient heart failure.
Yes. Sir, actually,
Okay,
I
fine.
want to say that
Listen,
currently
listen,
the patient was
listen.
receiving diuretics. Yes, sir.
Listen listen. So supposing you go by the American Society of Cardiology, American Cardiology or American Heart Association. What type of heart failure it is? A, B, C, D, E. Which D, E not D. Which type of which group?
Sir,
Tell me.
stage C, sir.
Stage C. Yeah, stage C.
Yes, sir.
What is stage C? Symptomatic.
Uh,
Patient has got symptoms. Means stage C.
Yes, sir. Stage C, sir. Patient is having
Symptoms. Patient
Yes,
having
sir.
symptoms. Stage C. Even if the symptoms is from
Yes,
class 4 to class 2 now, or even if patient has no symptoms also, totally you treated and no symptoms, still patient stage C. Patient had past history of heart failure, past symptoms, or now with symptoms. That is, once is branded as stage C, must stage C remain forever. It can go to D, not to back B. It cannot be B.
Okay, sir.
It remain either C, go to D.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's come back to the severe MS. Severe MS. So, okay, fine, severe MS you told, but opening snap, why you told, and murmur you did could not describe well. So, fine, patient has got partial lift there and second sound loud, palpable second heart sound. So, metastasis severe. Is it valve pliable, not pliable? Valve is pliable, not heavily calcified or not much calcified? What do you think of metal valve?
Sir, so probably, sir, it is pliable because sir, if it was heavily calcified, probably then we would not be able to hear the OS as such.
See, your answer is wrong. Sir, it's pliable. Finish. No, why do you give explanation? Don't give explanation. It's a pliable valve. Finish.
Okay, sir. So it's a pliable.
It's not loud opening sound. That is pliable. It will high pitch also. You didn't mention dull opening sound. Sometimes you get dull opening sound. The valve is thick, rigid. Even though it's not calcified, but you may get dull opening sound sometimes. You told it's sharp, high pitch. Mention that. So, master valve is pliable valve. It is severe MS. It's because long MDM is there and the partial leaf there and patient has a functional class C breathlessness and second sound loud, P2 loud, second sound nervous, P2 loud, palpable. So it's severe MS. So what is the evidence severe AS here?
Sir, severe AS, sir. So there is a left ventricular heave present, sir.
So in the presence of matter,
carotid
less. Respect to that, we are getting left
Yes, sir. Yes. So carotid trails. So the classical. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is that? So in the
So you
presence of
asked
preload,
why AS is severe. Yes, sir.
so LV correct. Your LV is hypertrophy. Why LV hypertrophy is sign of severe AS here? In spite of severe MS, patient has got left hypertrophy, heaving type of apex. So AS has to be severe, no doubt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got what? You got a long late picking thrill carotid thrill. Lot you didn't take thrill there, but long late picking more there. And you can mention that I couldn't appreciate apical carotid delay because of the articulation. So I could not appreciate.
Sir mentioned, sir.
You told that there is no apical delay. You mentioned that. So
Okay, sir.
So low volume pulse. So all goes in favor of severe aortic stenosis.
Yes, sir.
And MR also got. You got mild MR and moderate MR told. Mild MR. And also severe AS, sir, he is having histopangina pectoris and syncope, and on examination we get apex and thrill carotid thrill late long long and late peaking murmur, outing murmur, and second sound. Of course,
Yes,
second sound closes severe pace. So this goes in favor of severe aortic stenosis and patient severe MS. I'm getting a penicillin murmur. Would it be same murmur, same AS murmur audible apex, or you could think of MRD?
Sir, actually, sir, sir,
Actually, sir,
same, sir, sir.
is it same AS murmur?
S1.
Yeah,
No, sir,
audation,
actually it is, yes, sir, 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 it is radiating to the axilla, and sir, it is grade 2/6 murmur, sir, so probably it is a different murmur.
Note that you have to start with articulation. There is no change in intensity murmur. That is the most important answer for MR. So murmur who is not changing with the intensity with change in RR interval, so has to be MR murmur. It can't be aortic stenosis.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Right, sir.
This is the answer. This is the best answer. Not grade 2 going to apex, axilla, so many things. Of course. Then along with that, it is going to axilla and it is a soft consistent. You can mention those things.
Okay, sir.
Then come back to that. You told patient has got moderate PVH and moderate PS. Why not severe PVH and moderate PS? Or we can, if not very loud, moderate severe PVH and moderate PS. We can mention that patient has got severe PVH, second sound palpable. So moderate severe PVH with moderate PS, fine. We can think our moderate PVH with moderate PS. Okay, so fine. Okay, what do you see, X-ray?
Sir, I don't have the ECG and X-ray of this patient, sir.
Echo?
Sir, echo only report I have, sir. Actually, sir, taken long back, so I just written the main findings. So the patient has sir, severe mitral stenosis. The mitral valve orifice was.
Sorry, before that. How can aortic stenosis? Aortic stenosis will modify what is the effect of severe aortic stenosis on mitral stenosis, hemodynamics, signs and symptoms?
Sir, aortic stenosis, sir, as so the A2 OS interval, sir, it can widen. So basically, sir, MS can mask AS and AS can also mask the features, so the severity.
How can AS can mask MS?
Sir, because of sir, yes, sir. So because of raised LVEDP, so the gradient across the valve will be less, sir.
So the murmur intensity will come down, is it?
Yes, sir.
Then MS, aortic stenosis?
Sir, so the proximal stenotic lesion will also decrease the symptoms. Sorry, will also decrease the findings of the distal stenotic lesion. So therefore, so we are not getting the classical features of aortic stenosis, such as so pulsus parvus et tardus, and sir, any S4 is also not present.
So murmur intensity will come down.
Yes, sir. So murmur intensity is per se not necessarily that it will be affected, but so the other features.
Murmur intensity will come down, no? Because what is the murmur depends upon, no? Intensity depends upon what? Flow.
Yes, sir. Flow across the valve.
Yeah. If load is less, flow across aortic flow is less. Similarly, severe MS. Flow is less, we may not get murmur in across mitral valve, it becomes silent MS. If flow come down,
Yes,
murmur intensity come down. No?
Yes, sir.
Murmur intensity come down, murmurs intensity come down, murmur duration will come down. So it will mask severe aortic stenosis. Similarly,
Yes.
severe AS must matter stenosis because severe AS low output state. So low output means less stroke output, less output means Bourbon intensity will come down also. Mitral valve.
Yes, sir.
So both affect, both will each one will dampen
Affect the.
the
Yes, sir.
affect symptom signs of other one.
Great, sir.
So how to assess the severity of MS AS here then? Any other methods? Any non-invasive methods?
Sir. So after echocardiography, sir.
Yeah. Yes. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, planimetry.
Yeah, planimetry, especially
See the-
3D plan,
Yes.
3D planimetry. Tell 3D planimetry is the best for assess metal area, and continuity equation also. Continuity equation also both metal and outer wall area. So metal outer wall area, you have to go for area, not the gradient. Area, not the gradient.
Yes, sir.
So you have to calculate area of the both walls. Okay, so what is the plan for this case? Echo, can you read out echo? What echo? Everybody echo text with you.
Yes, sir. Sir, it says sir, severe mitral stenosis with mitral valve orifice given as 0.9 centimeter square with some moderate pulmonary arterial hypertension. So PSP not mentioned here in the report, final report, and so severe aortic stenosis. So gradient across the valve mentioned is 42.
Mean gradient or epi gradient?
It's a mean gradient, sir.
That's all. No MR.
No, sir. Mild MR, not significant.
Okay, so what do you do for this case?
So the patient, since there's already onset of symptoms, she'll require valve replacement surgery. Hello.
I'm hearing. Tell.
Yes, sir. So she'll require valve replacement surgery. So the type of valve has to be so patient should be given a so patient should be asked whether the family planning is complete or not, and based on further discussions regarding.
No. My simple question. One question. He's having typical angina pectoris. Do you go for do coronary angiogram or just you go ahead to clear the case person?
Sir, 32-year-old lady, sir, do coronary angiography.
We did not do coronary angiogram, but he has typical angina pectoris. Because of aortic stenosis, you mean? Only or one?
Yes, sir.
Coronary angiogram.
So because of aortic stenosis, sir. So it's not recommended for angiogram.
You are sure that he has cut. You don't require any coronary angiogram. You are sure that patient won't have coronary disease.
So there is sir, no history of any family history of any premature coronary artery disease or history of any chronic other risk factors with the patient.
Okay. Suppose the patient will continue to have angina pectoris after surgery. What are the possibilities you think of?
So,
You replace. So ideally, I will go for one open commissurotomy by outer valve plus AV replacement. Outer valve replacement, that will go. But after surgery, AV replacement, you do mitral commissurotomy and continue to have angina pectoris. What are the possibilities you think of? And this is hypothetical, may not be, but hypothetical. I'm keeping something in mind and asking you.
Sir, initially, sir, the symptoms will take time to subside, and after that, sir, so may I know, sir, after how much duration is the patient complaining of this?
Surgery, no. Post-op came to you After post-op once, he patient mobilized very well. He came out 3 months for first checkup, and it is, sir, I'm having the same chest pain as I used to get. What are possible?
Sir, I might consider microvascular angina. And sir, apart from that, to rule out any other coronary anomalies.
Yeah, you're sure that you won't know coronary. They could macula bridge also, that hypertrophic macula bridge also don't. So macula bridge, yeah. Also will do that, ne?
Yes, sir.
What do you think? What is your name? Sohail, what is your plan for this? Supposing patient had typical angina before surgery, and no, you will clear the case for surgery or you want to coronary?
So this case, we'll do coronary angiogram, sir. Before clearing for surgery, patient has typical angina, sir. So we want to rule out a concomitant coronary involvement also.
So something goes on and surgeon will catch your neck. Sir, you didn't show us coronary arteries. Because she had typical coronary angina, so patient might have, might have lost patient because of coronary disease, heart failure. They do that. It is a patient can have angina in typical aortic stenosis. So multivalvular disease. So I don't know whether the guideline is recommended or not, but we do typical angina, aortic valve disease, coronary angiogram. Even though there is no obvious risk factors, we don't know. Many cases, 50% cases don't know what are the risk factors. Not very obvious to us. Patients coming from village and totally lean and thin, and there you can count their bones. Chest case, rib case bones. The ribs you can count, but coronary disease. We don't know. We better do a coronary angiogram and clear the case. Okay, we'll go ahead for this aortic valve. Which valve you want to put implant here?
Sir, actually, it's better to discuss with the patient and patient family regarding so the most important thing, whether she would like to complete her family or if she is planning. Based on that, sir, we can explain.
She already the child. She doesn't want one more child. Doesn't want. Yes. Who is wanting nowadays? One child enough? What? Who is wanting nowadays?
Sir, in that case, sir, then you can.
No. Here I'm not discouraging you guys. Those are one child. I'm not discouraging you. You can have a couple of children, but I'm not discouraging you. But most of the people nowadays.
Yes, sir.
Village people also they don't want to.
Considering that she hasn't conceived for 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah, fine.
Yes, sir. Sir, in that case, since it's a young patient, then a prosthetic valve is recommended, sir.
Yeah, but you're correct. We have to discuss. You have to take the pros and cons of bioprosthetic tissue valve versus prosthetic valve. She wants a totally event-free life.
Yes, sir.
Maybe for good quality life, I want, sir. I want good life for 10, 12 years. After that, I don't mind for.
Yes, sir.
So, in my opinion, what I'm thinking is, I don't know. You just you guys are reading more. So, because the mitral valve disease, so I do commissurotomy and put a bioprosthetic in aortic valve. So, should have second surgery definitely. Aortic valve, whatever you do commissurotomy mitral valve. Maybe next time you can balloon it out if possible. Otherwise, you may require mitral replacement. So this is a good, I think, good logic to have open mitral commissurotomy and a bioprosthetic aortic valve, so that she can have and good quality of life for someone.
So also we should keep in mind, sir, the atrial fibrillation is all there.
Oh, patient atrial fibrillation there. Okay, fine. So has atrial fibrillation there.
Yes.
So you need atrial fibrillation. There are no stringent. Controlling your INR in aortic valve or in mitral valve also, if patient has got tissue valve. So one aspect. So then of course you are correct also. If there is compelling indication for anticoagulation. So probably may have to go metal valve also. So both sides.
Yes, sir. Sir, also, the risk of mortality will increase with a double valve replacement compared
No, we are
to a
not.
single valve replacement.
Metal and outward replacement.
Yes, sir.
There means tele valve is metal valve, but you need not maintain high INR. Instead of what kind of valve it is, or swell presented case, presented the topic.
Sir,
What valve it is?
sir, it's of a different material. Sir,
What is the valve name? What is the valve name?
Sir, I can't recollect.
Well,
So Onyx, Onyx. ma'am.
next. Very nice. So you have to remember the patient need not keep high INR. Low INR, no, low INR and maintain this valve.
Yes, sir.
I'm implanting now. Across the country, people start implanting. Of course, we are not implanting in our other side. It will be quite expensive due to it, but not. And the profile is bigger than their usual valve. Okay, you presented well, so nice.
Thank you.
Okay, fine. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Fine.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
One thing we enough.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
One thank you is enough. One thank you to me enough.
Good night, sir.
Oh.
Thank you, sir.